Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. The purpose of today's video is to explain something, and that is why is it that I don't like multiplayer games and why is it that I've always been uploading single players. Well, there are two parts to this video. This video is part one, and this video is about why is it that I don't like multiplayer games. And part two will be why is it that I like single player and why is it that I dedicate most of the channel to single player video games. So without further ado, let's begin. If you've been following me for long, you'll know that I have been uploading single player games, showing a single player gameplay, and I did do some Fortnite gameplay. But today I'm going to delve in a little bit and talk from a personal view. So why is it that I don't like multiplayer games and I don't dedicate any time to them? Well, there are two parts to this answer. Let's talk about part one of the answer. The whole point of multiplayer games is for people to get along with friends, to play with friends, and to enjoy with friends. Because if you're not gonna have any friends, then there is no point of playing a multiplayer game. You shouldn't play multiplayer if you have no friends. And I know this sounds harsh, I know it sounds mean, but this is from my own real life view. Because growing up, I didn't have friends to play multiplayer games with. Growing up, I went to school, but I had a hard time making friends. So therefore, I didn't have anyone to play multiplayer with. Me and my brother would play single player games occasionally when we were growing up, but I didn't have any real friends to do multiplayer with. So therefore, the social aspects of multiplayer was never there with me. As I got older, there were people who wanted to play multiplayer with me, but let's be real, I didn't like it and I wasn't interested. So part one of why I don't play multiplayer is because I don't have people to play multiplayer with. That's why. And the whole point of multiplayer is to play with friends, work together as a team to accomplish a goal. If you don't have that, then there really is no point. It's meaningless. Reason number two is because in today's gaming world, for the most part, not for the whole part, but for the most part, multiplayer gaming these days involve walking around, boom, boom, boom. Walking around, boom, boom, boom. Walking around, boom, boom, boom. To me, personally, walking around and boom, 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 if there's no story, if all you're gonna do is prove I'm number one, I can survive, then that's just meaningless. Now, before you tell me, well, that's what single player games are too. You walk around and you boom, boom, boom to survive. But in a single player game, you're not limited to just walking around and boom, boom, boom. You do it to explore story, to see cutscenes, to reach progress. And I understand that not everyone is into that stuff, and that's okay. But for me, walking around and boom, 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 if there's no story, if there's no meaningful progress, yes, you're gonna level up. Yes, you're gonna have good guns. But if all you're gonna do is walk around and boom, 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 and there's no story, there's no progress, then to me, that's just meaningless. Now, it's meaningless to me because I didn't have friends to play multiplayer games with. Growing up, I had no friends to play multiplayer games with. Maybe that's why. But besides that, I just find the concept of walking around and boom, 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 with no story, with no progress, with no nothing, just to hang out with friends and prove that you're number one, is kind of meaningless. Again, that's just my view. So this is why I don't like multiplayer. This is why I don't dedicate time to multiplayers. In the past, I tried Fortnite, I tried Call of Duty, I tried the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer mode, but multiplayer is just not my thing. I didn't grow up playing multiplayer. I grew up playing single player. For you, some of you may have played multiplayer, some of you may have played single player, but for me, I really don't. I try my best not to dedicate any time to multiplayer because I just find it meaningless. So this is why I don't like multiplayer, because I didn't have friends to play them with. And I just find the concept of walking around and boom, 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 walking around and boom, boom, boom every day of your life to be meaningless. Now, you're probably going to tell me, not all games are like this. Some multiplayer games are about sports. Some multiplayer games, you do stuff. If it has multiplayer, I'm just not interested. I'm just interested in single player, in where it's just me and the game and that's it. And in a multiplayer game, you get tested. You play against a human, not against an artificial intelligence. In a single player game, you play against an artificial intelligence. But in multiplayer, you play against a human. So that's where your skills get tested, and my skills are not good enough for a multiplayer game. They're just not. So this is why I don't like multiplayer. Await part 2 of this video, which explains why I like single player. Thank you and have a good day, and I'll hope to see you next time.